Everyone, this is Joe Gentili from Left Tail Risk Advisors. This video is primarily for people that are going through a divorce and there are spousal support obligations or child support obligations that are being negotiated and are going to exist as part of the divorce. And this is really tailored towards the people that are in the position of receiving the payments. So if you're going through this process, one of the things that's undoubtedly come up as part of this process is life insurance. That your attorney probably has advised you that it's normal for people that are receiving support payments to insist on life support, life insurance as being part of the equation here in the negotiation. And this way, in the event that the ex-spouse that has the obligation passes away while the obligation is still in place, there are life insurance proceeds to take care of the spouse and children that are receiving the support. I think this is a great idea, and it's something that should be part of the process. Now, I would also almost guarantee that what is not part of this discussion is disability insurance. And that to me is a real missing piece in a lot of planning for support obligations, either child support or spousal support. And the reason for that is because just statistically, it's much more likely that the spouse that has the payment obligations has a period of time, whether it's temporary or permanent, where they're not able to work because of a disability, rather than they pass away during the period of time that they have the support obligations. Much more likely to occur. Now, if you were to ask your attorney what happens in the event that while child support is being owed or spousal support is being owed, my spouse becomes disabled and can't work and therefore has no work income coming in, what happens? You're probably going to get an explanation that you're not going to be too happy with. The explanation is likely going to involve that there may have to be litigation in court about your spouse looking to reduce the child support or spousal support obligations dramatically, and you pushing back on that. There's probably going to be arrears in the support that is going to develop because of this. That also could be a point of fighting. But the bottom line is that the likely outcome is that the support obligations that you're currently negotiating now will not happen at the numbers you're negotiating them. And the question probably will be, by how much will this not happen? So it'll involve a lower standard of support and maybe a lower quality of life for you and for your children if there's child support obligations. There is a pretty um, there's a pretty straightforward way to avoid this, and that is to put disability insurance in place as part of the discussion, as part of the divorce settlement, that not only is your ex-spouse's income that you're partially relying on covered in the event of death, but it's also covered in the more likely occurrence of disability, that if your spouse becomes disabled, they are going to have a stream of income that's going to replace their work income. And therefore, that takes away most of the argument that they're going to have about reducing support obligations. There's still going to be money coming in the door. This makes a lot of sense for a lot of people, and I think this should be part of a lot more divorce settlements than there currently are. However, it's not for everybody. It should be part of the conversation, but it's not for everybody. And there's a couple of reasons for this as compared to life insurance. So number one, because disability is more likely to occur than death, if you're looking at like a relatively short period of time, let's say there's a support obligation that's going to exist for 10 years, even 20 years, disability is much more likely to happen. Therefore, disability insurance is more expensive. It costs more money than life insurance because it's more likely to pay out. So it is a higher value product in that regard. And so not everybody can afford this. So if you're dealing with a spouse that has a modest income and modest means, it may not be affordable for them. Another thing that could come up is underwriting is stricter for disability insurance than for life insurance. And again, for the same reason, because statistically, people are more likely to become disabled over a period of time than die, particularly if you're dealing with working age people. So therefore, the underwriting is stricter. So not everybody is going to qualify for disability insurance. One of the objections you may get from a spouse saying that they don't want to pay for or get disability insurance is they may say they already have it through work. And a lot of people, if you have a job at a larger company, there is going to be a disability benefit as part of their normal everyday benefits. But these policies are much less robust and typically cover a smaller percentage of income than an individual disability insurance policy that the person would buy. So with group disability insurance, number one, if the person loses their job or switches jobs, they're going to lose the disability insurance. Number two, the disability insurance usually only covers a relatively small part of their income, especially if their income is bonus reliant or other types of compensation besides salary. There's taxes that are taken out of the disability payments for group, where that's not the case with individual disability insurance. That group disability insurance may get offset by Social Security, so that's another reduction. And probably, I would say, just as important, or even maybe more important, the definition of disability is stricter typically with group insurance policies than it is with individual disability insurance policies. So it's harder to get disability payments out of the group policies, and it's harder to maintain that over a long period of time than it is with individual. So even though your spouse may have group disability insurance, it's really a half measure um, in comparison to what an individual disability insurance policy can provide. It's a much greater degree of protection with individual disability insurance rather than group. So this is a really important topic. I'd really like to see this become a standard part of the discussion for divorce negotiations when there are support obligations in play, because I think it's a tremendous overlooked risk. So if you have any questions on this, or your attorney has any questions on this, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to discuss. And as always, if you like this video, I encourage you to give it a like and subscribe. Thank you.